Hi everyone.
Good evening.
Hi everyone, I'm Louis Biondolillo. I'm Louis Biondolillo from the Feliciano School of Business, bringing you this week's Feliciano feature.
I was born in South Brunswick, New Jersey. I always used to do things like theater. It turned from acting and singing to, in high school, we had a television program.
VTN B-Days, that's us. We're the team that delivers the good word.
And I saw another opportunity to be on a stage. It was called the Viking Television Network, or VTN for short. And every morning, we would get the morning announcements together, and I was pretty much the only one that loved being on camera. One day I want to be a news anchor, and I think delivering the news in an unbiased way is the best way to do things. My family friend knows that I was going into television work, and he went to Montclair State. He showed me the alumni magazine, which on the front cover was this beautiful School of Communication and Media partnership with Sony, and it was going to have all of these new opportunities for students. That really made me decide to come here. At first, when I told my parents that I wanted to go into television, my father kind of warned me. He said, "Louis, if this is what you want to do, go for it. But be aware that it's going to be a difficult life. You might have to move away from your family. You might have to move away from your friends." My mother was a little cautious when I wanted to be a television major because she doesn't, I'm her baby. She doesn't want to lose her baby, The first day of classes, I came to the School of Communication and Media as a freshman. I walked up to Professor Efron.
Louis looks at me and plaintively says, Sir, might there be a way for me to be involved in News Lab? And I said, sure, just show up.
From the School of Communication and Media at Montclair State University, this is Montclair News Lab. This is Montclair News Lab. Hello and welcome to Montclair News Lab.
Montclair News Lab is a class, but it's also a real working television program that goes on the local Montclair channel, and sometimes even beyond that to local channels all throughout New Jersey. I was a freshman in 2018, and that was a big year for the midterm elections. So we here at Montclair News Lab decided that this would be an awesome time to talk about specifically New Jersey. When they were asking for volunteers for the election night program, I went up to Professor Efron and said, "How can I be on camera? I want to host." He was looking at me like a little, a cute little freshman, pinching my cheek. He's like a grandfather in some ways. And he comes up to me and he says,
No, but here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to wash your face, put on a nice sport coat, a clean shirt and a tie, and cover Mikey Sherrill's campaign.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here at Mikey Sherrill's campaign.
I met with Mikey Sherrill a number of times in my freshman year. First, we interviewed her right here in the School of Comm. We had a little stand-up interview right in the lobby. It was my first interview. We went to her campaign base and we covered her there.
Right after Election Day, I had this idea. Why not send our freshman, Louis, and his friend Talon down to Washington to introduce our newest freshman, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill.
And we interviewed Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill. She was a congresswoman at this point. I'm a freshman at Montclair State University, and you're a freshman at Congress. As an 18-year-old college freshman, going to Washington, D.C. and interviewing a congresswoman is probably the best thing that you could have asked for. After my first semester of just sitting in on the News Lab class, I asked Professor Efron and Professor Gann and Professor McCarthy, I asked them all, I said, hey, can I actually take this course next semester? I gave them a loving push, and finally they gave me the code to get into the class, which as a freshman was incredible. I got to do so many stories. I did a story on a marching band, a drum corps, a congresswoman, a Facebook executive who sits at the same table as Mark Zuckerberg.
It was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
I think I've started planning for my future. I think that I've started taking steps towards that future.
Places like Point Pleasant and Atlantic City are projected to be underwater, only 81 years away.
Wherever you are in your life, now is the time to start working harder. If you start working harder now, you'll reach your goal and you'll be so much happier. You'll be so much more successful later on in life, and you're gonna thank your past self now. You also learn life lessons as well. You learn character. You learn determination, perseverance. You learn responsibility. You really have to start that work now to get that foot ahead. If you want to make more of yourself, the biggest thing that I can say is to make connections. If you make connections and you start working hard, people are going to respect you more and you're going to get to a place that you want to be. And I think that's the most important thing that you really have to do right now.
From Montclair News Lab, I'm Louis Biondolillo.